I've been talking a lot recently about how kids now are getting like once eye tracking starts getting more popular, I think that kids will not even know how to use the phone.
This is going to be kids around like a computer or technology in probably like 10 years. Yeah, we are returning to monkey.
It's really something.
Welcome back, my little Rizzlers. Looking very Sigma today.
Ooh. Good
Okay,
one.
that probably won't be a regular thing, but can't promise anything. As you can tell from that scary introduction, I'm always on that quest for knowledge so I can keep up with what's going on in the world.
Ooh.
And after finishing my 90s slang to Gen Alpha
Chillax.
slang workshop,
Nah, bro. Like 90s slang? Chillax. Yeah, that probably was a big one. Yeah.
slang worksheet, I wanted to use
Bruh.
new word I learned in real life. Maybe the brain rot was there all along.
Yeah.
We've just repackaged it for modern times with a side of Cocomelon videos. Who knows? Maybe in the future, the cringiness of saying majestic, and
Majestic?
ate that will be cool
I've
again.
never heard somebody say majestic. The only time I hear somebody say majestic is like if they're looking at a moose or something, or like 3 buffalo at the same time.
Like, you go, girl. No diggity. Fresh? And jump scare. This is actually from an old Navy catalog for
Yeah.
hip children's clothes. The kid audience has always been a target for billion-dollar companies operating under corporate capitalism. That still hasn't changed. If there's a miner, we're gonna mine her for gold. Yikes. Basically, everyone's trying to sell you something like a video game innkeeper. That's just how the world works nowadays. But you'll be okay as long as you do your research before buying anything so you can make an informed decision. Try to avoid blindly trusting random guys on the internet who make YouTube videos.
Of course not.
So, you looking weary, traveler? Are you looking to sit down for a point? Or would you fancy a magic potion for health?
Oh my
Well,
god.
we don't have that, but we do have Gamer Subs, our sponsor for today. A healthier and cheaper alternative to energy
Oh, I
drinks.
have one of
Since the
those.
majority of my audience are fully developed frontal lobe people, I feel better about telling you guys about this. It's 0 sugar, less than 1
Where is the
calorie, and if
fucking
you're a
thing?
fan of anime, you'll like what they have to offer. Gamer
Yeah.
Subs isn't something I drink daily, but when I need that extra pick-me-up to get me through that after lunch grogginess, for me,
So this is Tectone's like thing. Look at how Jesus. The thing is that I wanted to do one like that, but I didn't know if I'd be able to.
half a scoop of this in some ice cold water is a refreshing way for me to get my
I put
energy
milk
back
in
up.
it?
I like that
It
you can
comes with
adjust the servings based on how much you need. I tend to make mine a little less sweet. Sometimes I don't feel like downing an entire can of liquid just to feel something. The best way to try Gamer Subs is with their free samples, and they do ship worldwide. Then you don't have to fully commit, just in case it's not for you. If you're already a fan, you can use my code EVASION to get 10% off your order. You can find it in the description, traveler. Marketing has come a long way from ye old TV commercials, newspaper columns,
remember
and
those.
magazine clippings, to every screen within your peripheral vision
Yep.
being a rush of dopamine-inducing ads. Doom scrolling through your
Jesus.
phone feels like standing in the middle of Times Square. There's so much going on at once, and you haven't even left your bed yet. How does one navigate the world when everything is overstimulating us to the point of exhaustion? Especially for people with underdeveloped brains. No, not us.
I do think that's what happens. Is like kids get so addicted to like the like hyper stimulation of like TikTok and shit that I don't think that they're gonna like this. Like in 10 years, will a kid be able to read a book? Like the average kid be able to read a book? I mean, probably not, right? I mean, like I don't think so. Like I would assume probably not. Yeah.
Content creators
Yeah.
with skibbity toilet brain rot, but Gen Alpha, those born at the tail end of 2009 to present day, who are somewhere between the ages of 0 to 14 years old, never having a second of quiet or playtime without a screen, while constantly being bombarded with ads, is expediting their growing up process. You know how boomers are constantly rambling about how these whippersnappers, they're growing up too quick, I tell ya. It's not just the sweet embrace of dementia coming in for a hug.
There
They're
is
actually
that.
right. Gen Alpha is speed running through the 10-year-old phase and straight into the drunk elephant
Cocomelon, as a person born in 21X, I have never. Alpha, Sigma, Giga, Chad, Sus, Bro. Oh my god.
anti-aging mewing routine while the Rizzler's lullaby plays in the
What?
back. All around the skibbity bush, the monkey chased the Rizzler. The monkey thought Ohio was fun.
What?
Yeah, goes the Rizzler. has been stuck in my head for weeks. Giant corporations have the tendency to prioritize making as much money as possible to the detriment of their consumers. And the marketing tactics they employ are literally rewiring our brains. While we do have more regulations compared to before, companies are still able to find loopholes when advertising to minors. Before the rise of internet celebrities, who were born from viral moments and a nice heaping of luck, we had traditional A-list celebrities attaching their names to reputable brands. Tom Cruise's PT Cruisers, The Rock's Organic Gravel, Reese Witherspoon's Silver Colory Set, and Janet Jackson's Winter Jackets for sons. Just to name a few.
After the Super Bowl,
that I
that
made
would
up.
make
People
sense.
would buy anything if someone famous endorsed it. A popular Hollywood squirrel selling acorns? I will take 50. Although the A in A-list does stand for always. Unrelatable, because they are too famous. These Hollywood bigwigs, they're just in it for the money. You really think Jennifer Aniston is wiping her face with Aveeno using her giant Friends paycheck? There was a time when influencers were considered more trustworthy when endorsing products compared to
people that thought that they could trust some random guy on the internet to like not sell them some bullshit. Like, I'm sorry, but like, if you really thought that, you're dumb. You're dumb, and I don't feel bad for you. That's what you get.
traditional celebrities. Cause influencers, man, they just like us. Our relatable internet friend, who's only a DM away. Plus, the constant output of content helps build that parasocial relationship that kids really yearn for. Think about it.
Starforge? Well, no, that's the thing. Is we tried to rely on that. Remember that? Remember the release of Starforge? That was really not so good, huh? That was bad. Ooh, real bad. And we had a bad time that time. Then we had to change everything. We had to totally change up the product offering because it didn't work. The screws, so that was later. Yeah, exactly.
If you were in grade 4 in this day and age, would you be idolizing these nerds? With peace and love, the purple one is my bias. Or would you be a fan of famous TikTok influencer with limitless riz, who just gave $1 million to one of their fans? The chances of that being you only increases if you buy 55 pairs of merch and 55 boxes of snack foods. Lunchables, ooh.
I think that also a big reason why this is popular is because everybody wants to be a content creator, because they think that being a content creator takes no work at all and it's super easy. So like every time that I've talked to people that like don't really know like what's about it, where like they're like, "Oh, I wish I could just sit there and play video games all day and then make a bunch of money." That's what would happen. That's what everybody says. Constantly people say that. You can? Yeah, then just do it. Yeah,
Lunchly
just go do it.
is a brand of snack kits created by Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast, famous internet celebrities known to have a lot of young fans. They're marketing the snack kit as a healthier alternative to Lunchables. The announcement for this product caused quite a bit of discourse.
Lunchly versus Lunchables.
With Lunchly,
I did
you get
this.
double
Remember
the
this?
amount of liquid.
Prime has no sugar
is
added,
good
more
time.
electrolytes, and more B vitamins.
Crunch Bar. Feastables.
Real
Crunch
bad. Ooh.
Our pizza uses real cheese. Theirs, as it says on their box, is mozzarella pasteurized prepared cheese product. They can't even call it real cheese. We're also 30 less calories, 3 less grams of fat, and 8 less grams of sugar.
We saw
Turkey
this.
Stack 'em, 310 calories.
230 calories.
21 grams of sugar.
Only 7 grams of sugar.
If you look at this close up, you can already tell which one has better ingredients.
By
All right,
the
we'll
way-
start off with the Lunchables.
That's not how it looked. I don't know how it looked that way with them. Mine did not look that way.
Bro,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's trash. All right, now we're trying Lunchly. Come on. We're not biased at all, but ours is way better.
For sure.
I know I'm not the target audience for this, but that was a lot for my old wrinkly adult brain. If I was a young kid,
Yeah.
however, I could see myself being influenced by this. Small green number, good. Big red number,
Bad. Real bad.
Why? I don't know. That's what my favorite internet celebrity told me.
Yep.
You also get that dopamine rush of jump cuts, yelling, and overstimulating animations in the span of 60 seconds. To no
course.
one's surprise, a handful of content creators were pretty vocal about this being a cash grab targeting their young fans, and how the content creation space has become a capitalistic nightmare. After some back and forth between the general public
Oh,
and
it's
the
super common now. Everybody's trying to make money, right? And this is always how things are. It's always been like this. But I think that the problem is that a lot of people built up like a degree of trust that they had with like YouTubers or streamers or something like that. No. You should have never done this in the first place. I'm glad that we're seeing a readjustment where people are getting a bit of a reality check, you know?
creators of
God.
Lunchly, who all had different approaches of addressing the situation, some going personal, some going on the attack, and others going more in depth about the product itself. Whatever's happening here is a lot more nuanced than it appears. The main issues people have with Lunchly are with the founders themselves, who don't necessarily have the cleanest reputation in terms of controversy. Even if the product is technically better than what's currently available, you can't be too surprised when people think you're only doing this for profit when that's the image you built.
Well, the problem isn't that you're. I don't like the idea that like doing something for profit is seen as bad. Every company exists to make profit. Like, what do you think that Lunchables is doing it for? Do you think they're doing it as like a public service? No, they're doing it for money too. Like, everybody's doing it for money. That's not the problem. The problem, the only thing that I thought was bad with Lunchly is like saying it's healthy. I think that you shouldn't be able to say something is healthy if it's not actually healthy. Like, that shouldn't be a word that you're able to like throw around. There should be some sort of like, advertising standard distinction for what you can say is healthy versus not healthy, right? That's it. Who determines healthy? Well, obviously the FDA that determines all of the other regulations for food would be the ones that would determine what's healthy and not healthy. Obviously, what are you thinking? So yeah, they would determine that. And so, like I think this is like some kind of like, oh, but who thinks that? Like, well, actually, fuck.
Yourself. This group of people here doesn't really scream passionate about kids' health, along with the content being created to promote their brand. Not sure what this has to do with providing healthier options for kids.
I don't even know what happened. Yeah.
I'm going!
I guess you can only do so much when your product is literally...
I think that's funny. I'm sorry, but I think that if I was a kid, I'd think that's funny. I think that's relatively good advertising. Yeah, I think it's actually a pretty decent ad. I do. It's silly. Yeah. What's the point of that? It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous ad that's meant to target kids, and I think it works. I do. I think it's funny, right? It's not like some kind of crazy thing, but it's all right.
Copy your homework.
Commercials don't work on me. Everybody says that. Everybody says commercials don't work on me. But as somebody who does advertising, let me tell you, they work on most people.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll make it slightly different so we don't get caught. If they wanted to portray a healthier alternative to snack foods, Lunchables shouldn't have been the base model for Lunchly, when Lunchables already has a reputation for being unhealthy with a sprinkle of delicious lead. I do agree with some parts of this. If you had to pick between the two, Lunchly is a better option on paper, but only by like 15%. The difference is almost negligible to justify eating this super often, especially during your development years. If my kid was a super fan and wanted to eat an influencer snack pack, they better have all their chores done a year in advance. Also, straight A's until they graduate. Also, the house better be clean from top to bottom. Oh, that's a maid. I think I'm looking for a maid. Other than the nutrition and
that's what I would do. Yeah, it's like if you want to upgrade from Lunchly, from Lunchables to Lunchly, like you have to do 3 daily quests. If like I had a kid, that's what I would tell them. Like, you have to go do this stuff for me, and then I'll buy you Lunchly. That's what you have to do,
the ingredients.
Smart.
The only factor that really separates these two products are that one has the backing of 3 super famous content creators with a chokehold on Gen Alpha, who'll believe almost anything they say. If Logan, KSI, and Mr. Beast say this is perfectly fine to eat every day, the cafeteria is going to be filled with Lunchlys with not a single fruit or vegetable in sight.
There it is.
Health campaigns and health-focused content creators have even criticized these Lunchly snack kits.
You'll see countless comparisons being made to Lunchables. To be honest, some of the comparisons are kind of cringe and don't make much sense to me, but maybe that's because I'm not the target demo. Flavor.
Yeah, he's a doctor. They're not advertising to doctors, okay?
Flavorful combos versus standard picks. The meal kit combos are nearly identical to Lunchables.
As somebody who tried both of them, I want to emphasize with the nachos especially, the nearly is not needed. They're basically identical. It's the same thing, okay? It's the same.
Gestures versus mid moments.
Yeah.
I certainly don't remember that lesson in my nutrition classes.
I don't think it's causing harm. I don't think it's bad, but I think it's been marketed in a way that gives people an impression that it's really, really good for hydration and or should be consumed at any other time of the day, like at lunch, which any, I think, sensible doctor, medical professional would say is not the case. And also just think of this. Do you really think that the same beverage that should be used to hydrate elite mixed martial art UFC fighters training and sweating for hours is what you should drink at lunch when you're not sweating?
One thing I will mention as someone who was pursuing a
I never thought of that, but yeah, that makes sense.
Bachelor of Science in Nutrition back in my university days, basically I took one nutrition class and then dropped out.
Smart.
Yes, there is a bit of fear-mongering around processed foods. They are not good for you, but just because you can't pronounce some of the Lunchly ingredients doesn't mean that it's a horrible chemical. These are just the scientific names for vitamins, thickeners, and preservatives that keep the food from going off. In terms of processed foods that are cheap and ready to eat, the ingredient lists aren't the worst thing in the world. It's no different than buying a microwave meal, which also has scary sounding ingredients, but are perfectly safe to eat in moderation. Definitely not as a daily thing. Treating Lunchly as a yearly snack would probably be my personal preference. In the end, it does all come down to the parents.
I had 3 in one
the kids
day.
aren't the ones working 40 hours a week and
dead.
buying the groceries. Even if they got on their hands and knees and begged, you gotta say no or have some restrictions with what they're eating. Food is a whole other ballpark compared to selling a hoodie or some pants.
I would just buy my kid the Lunchly. I'm sorry, maybe I'm a bad parent, but like if he was fat, I would call him fat and say you can't have any food until you're not fat anymore. But if he wasn't fat, I would buy him a Lunchly. I would. Yeah, why not? He wants to fucking eat it. You want to eat this bullshit? It's gonna make you happy. Go ahead. Go ahead. But don't you for a second be fat, you little piece of shit. You are? Yeah, exactly. It's 75 pounds. No, you don't want to have a hog. A 200-pound 8-year-old. No. Who cares? Yeah,
Since it
that'd
actually
be
impacts
fine.
your health. You have to be really clear about the brand's intentions without the confusing marketing tactics. If Lunchly made content teaching healthier eating habits, that would help their brand image. But that doesn't sell as well.
It doesn't matter. Like, people have already made up their mind they don't like it. They shouldn't do anything to try to rectify people's opinions. Like, they've already decided that Lunchly is bad, Logan Paul and Mr. Beast are evil, KSI is dumb, his new song is garbage. Like, there's no reason to even try. Just
whatever
sell
this
it.
is.
Now we take our all-new Lunchly turkey stack'ems.
Yeah.
Let's hit it.
It's actually pretty good. Shout out Logan, original cucumber guy. Hey, great name, by the way.
I remember when my parents would refuse to let me eat craft dinner and called it trash food. Please don't cancel them. Times were different back then. But I did feel left out because all my classmates were eating it for lunch. Thankfully, my parents could tell there was little to no nutrition in this box of macaroni noodles compared to a home-cooked Asian meal. Although we did eat a Tim Hortons donut almost every single day after they picked me up from school.
Nice.
So, balance, I guess. Honestly, this lunch...
I remember I convinced my mom in like 6th and 7th grade that every time it just happened to be like, it was a weird coincidence that like at the same time that I had to go into honors English, I would get sick and then she'd have to pick me up from school. And then the only way for me not to be sick would be for me to eat Taco Bell. And yeah, it's crazy, huh? How do you pull that off? I don't know. Like it took a long time. It was a lot of work, man.
thing is making me want to eat Lunchables again after 20 years. But yeah, the public sentiment about Lunchly, 3.5 out of 10. Speaking of spiking up your dopamine levels, you familiar with loot boxes and gacha video games? I know a lot of you can relate from personal experience, me included. This is a mechanic where you spend real-life money for in-game currency, used for getting special items, character skins, and JPEGs of attractive anime husbandos and waifus. Except it's not a guaranteed thing. No, no, no. It all comes down to a single button press and how lucky you are. The system makes it so you only have a 0.5.
I love how there's people, like, because I meme about this a lot, but there's people who genuinely believe that they're good at opening loot boxes and they're good at doing pulls and gotchas. Like, they actually think that they're good at it. I don't know what to say.
5 to 3% chance of pulling the newest character or rarest item. What happens if you don't get it? You gotta keep spending money if you want to keep trying. Which makes it so much more exciting when that 1% pull rate comes through. It's so fun and easy that even young kids can try their hand at it using their weekly allowance. This is essentially like gambling and trading.
So the majority of games that are like that have loot boxes on like the app stores are marketed towards or allow children to use them and play them that have gambling and like loot boxes. So like the idea is that you get the kids addicted to gambling like when they're like 8 years old, and then by the time they're 13 they're like sports betting on stake, and then by the time they're 18 they are like actually gambling, and then by the time they're 20 they kill themselves because they went into debt. Yeah. That's yeah. And so you have like basically it's like the whole cycle of life, right? They're speed running. It's population control.
Instead of winning cold hard cash, you win a cool Fortnite skin instead. That adrenaline,
which is a good idea, right? Because like if you try to get people, like a lot of people like with this, if you try to get people that are like older, they understand statistics. But if you get an 8-year-old to do this, an 8-year-old doesn't intuitively understand probabilities. So it's much easier to like farm them, you know?
you get from putting everything on black, or when you get a 5-star Genshin character on your first pull, is very addicting, especially for these young developing meat sacks. When are you calculating how many loot boxes you can pull when you should be calculating a grade 4 math problem? People in their early 20s are the fastest growing group of gamblers, according to recent research, and many kids are starting younger than that. Nearly 2/3 of adolescents ages 12 to 18 said they had gambled or played gambling like
Wait, I don't think this is really 2/3. That means over half of kids from 12 to 18 said that they've gambled or played gambling like games in the past year. Oh my God. How is that even real?
Year. Starting young carries a relative high burden of psychological distress and increased chances of developing problems. As access to gambling has expanded, psychologists and other experts have become concerned. Not just that more people will give it a try, but that more will develop gambling problems. And while it is too soon to know what the long-term effects will be, evidence is growing to suggest that young people, especially boys and men, are among those particularly vulnerable to gambling addiction. The same demographic most often participating in the newest forms of gambling. Now that we have smartphones, it's so accessible. In a matter of minutes, you could be playing a gacha game or spinning roulettes.
I remember I spent so much. I had like zero in my bank account. I had to like borrow money from like my...
See, this is the thing, bro, is like it all started with MapleStory. I knew a girl that spent, it was like close to $20,000 on MapleStory. And she said that the majority of the money that she spent was just on cosmetics. Was she hot? Yeah, of course she was hot. Why do you think I was talking to her? Yeah, what the fuck? What a stupid fucking question.
Boyfriend then to like eat. I used like Maple kind of as an escape. So there was COVID, right? So I didn't really go out. Then I didn't buy new clothes. So I was like, okay, then why don't I just buy virtual clothes, right? Why don't I just get good virtually?
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Lockdown did do a number on our social skills. So why not treat this game world you invested so much time into as the real world? It definitely looks a lot more appealing.
I spent $23 on a gacha game. Shameful, to be honest. I don't know. I mean, like, I just... To me, it's like... I think it's so silly. Like, I'll do it for, like, stream content or something. But I couldn't imagine, like, as soon as Lost Ark wasn't popular for, like, viewers, like, people didn't want to watch it anymore, I just quit playing the game. Like, I was like, I'm not actually going to play this, right?
Then, what we have going on here, spending some money on a video game isn't inherently bad. We just need to control ourselves and make sure the grade schoolers are doing their homework instead of...
POV when I'm in class.
Thankfully, we are starting to realize the effects of engaging in this type of...
So they've got like these like little kids in school. Oh man, that's good.
Behavior at such a young age. More regulations are being put in place, such as limiting accounts to certain spending amounts each day. Some countries have gone as far as to ban any form of loot boxes altogether.
Like
Too bad this didn't happen before a 13-year-old spent her family's entire life savings on a mobile game, resulting in her mom finding 7 cents left in her account. She even deleted chats and transaction records to hide them from her parents. That is very...
Get the belt! Oh man, that's bad. I did that once, deserved to be honest. Yep. Wow.
Spooky and sad. The last thing we'll talk about as a quick mention is Galaxy Gas, which is Genuinely frightening, this company specializes in a gas product used to refill whipped cream canisters that give it that airy texture. They state you can make 20,000 servings of whipped cream using a single canister. Are you also fueling
20,000 servings of whipped cream? How about whipped brains? Yeah, how many servings of that can you get?
a car with this? This is like those people in those math problems that buy 100 watermelons, 72 apples for their family of 42. The issue is that people were finding out you can eat the gas directly through your mouth, which is not good. Just one look at it.
It actually is crazy whenever you put everything together, where it's like, let's say you spawn in, you're 9 years old. You've got Mr. Beast and Logan Paul double teaming you to try to get you to watch like these videos that are basically like horror movies, but with better effects and a brighter palette. And then after that, they're trying to sell you like this like fucking Gatorade drink that has like a bunch of caffeine in it. Then after you finish that, you know, they've got Lunchly for you to eat that like, you know, maybe it has lead in it or something like that. Then after you finish all that, like you're like, okay, well, I'm going to get on my phone, and you're watching like only TikToks that have 3 screens playing at the same time while you have your tablet on the other side and you're playing Minecraft with your girlfriend who's actually a guy. And then on top of that, you've got like fucking these gambling games, and like you're addicted to gambling. You want to start like gambling on stake, like your favorite streamers. You know, you want to bet on the new on like it's just like, what is this? And like, you know, in case you were gonna learn anything in school, you can't spell your own name. You're 9 years old, and like your friend brought Galaxy Gas to school, and now you're addicted to. It's just like, it's so bad. This is amazing.
And you can tell that it's aiming to target a younger audience. Other than the creator doing demos of him using the product, I don't think people are just using this to make sweet treats. The packaging is fun, it's super accessible,
it's
where
only for
you can
food.
order it off Amazon without an ID. It also comes with a mouthpiece. Pretty weird if you're not intended to inhale it. Once this caught wind on social media, it became a trend of people using it at school and posting videos of themselves being goofy. Well, if you're a parent, what are you still doing watching this video? Get off your phone and never let your kid go outside ever again. Just kidding. Sort of. The world is a scary place. All you can really do is try your best, right? And besides, you can't just put the kid back from where it came from, or
you can. It's called a post-birth. It's called a post-birth abortion. No. What? Like, if I had a kid, I would pretty much just let the kid do whatever the fuck he wanted. I would. If you want to make a social media account, go ahead. Go ahead, see what happens. I'll watch you do it. I'll make sure you don't do anything crazy. But like, I've never been like, my parents, this was their mindset. You want to go do that? Go ahead. Go do it. See what happens. You want to go smoke weed at 12? Go ahead. You want to smoke weed with Lowell out of a flashlight at the park? Have fun. You're going to see why it's stupid. And I did. Yep, that was it. They said, yeah, you think it's not a good idea. It's how you learn. That's right.
Bring it in for a refund. Hopefully watching this video is a net positive
how I
for you,
turned
and
out.
we can all be smarter
about
consumers
that?
together. Humans are also quite sturdy. A lot of us 90s kids grew up on a diet of Red 40, Play-Doh, and lead paint. We turned out more or less fine. Brain still work good. At least the YouTube algorithm is a reassuring presence in our lives, and you can feed it a Lunchly by liking this video. In turn, it'll keep feeding you hits of dopamine by showing you videos you'll enjoy, like this one, and one of my many other videos, perhaps. Have a good day, try not to be dumb, and see you in the next one.
Anyway, I can talk about like just for the like kids that are having this happen. I think that a huge amount of them are getting fucked up in the head by all of this like type of messaging. I think it's like actually fucking them up in like a big way. And I don't even think that it's reached like a fever pitch yet. I think that like we're still ramping and we're still building up power. I do. And I was going to say, I'm going to do I want to do a game show where I invite people on and I have them identify different memes and like internet conspiracy theories, and to see who is like who's been on the internet the most or the longest. And it's going to be kind of like schooled, like it's a bit like that, but then it's going to be with like different internet memes and like different types of like just different random stuff. You know, basically terminally online game show. Yeah, I'm going to call it The Biggest Loser. Jeopardy? Not quite, but it's a quiz show. Yeah, that's my plan. and schooled but brain rot. Yeah, 100%. I do think like now kids are getting like so addicted to so many different things that it is going to start negatively affecting them in a very big way. I think it's going to keep getting worse over time. And at a certain point, I think it's probably just going to... I think that we don't realize how bad it is because these kids haven't entered the workforce yet. And so after these kids start getting jobs and you have to like rely on them to like, you know, put the fries in the bag, and then they don't know where the bag is, and they don't like, they're just like so stupid they can't figure it out. They put like chicken nuggets in there instead. Then you're going to see. Is it related to competency crisis? Yeah, I guess so. Robots will take over? Yeah, exactly. And then what are the kids going to do? Nothing. They're just going to be stupid. That's it. Be fucking dumb the whole time.